certain things like, so it's really funny, right? Because on the one hand, one of the things that you guys told me was I need to have boundaries because like I got freaking spirits running around messing with me and I'm opening portals and breaking grids and stuff like that. But then I
We've
tried
done it too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. Hola.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chasity, aka the Luminary Luna Beams,
I'm Emily, the Fine Art Medium.
and we're two mediums that specialize in the paranormal. Our purpose is to shed light on what goes bump in the night. That's why we call this podcast
Lights at midnight.
Lamp. Okay, today, guys, what we're going to do is we have a YouTube exclusive. So really, this is a follow-up from last week's video. So if you have not seen last week's video, we would highly recommend for you to go check it out. It's called, what did you name it, Emily? Something's Watching You, and Two Psychic Mediums. You'll see it. It's from last week. It's from a week ago.
I'll put it in the cards.
There you go. So what we do is we sit down with Megan on Zoom and she validates things. And also we discuss, we basically do somewhat of like a session with her, a paranormal session. So we get to kind of look around her house, see what's there. She's graciously opened her doors to you guys to kind of let you see an insider perspective of what a paranormal call can look like. This is a fairly mild case in comparison to other ones, and I'm not trying to devalue Megan's experience at all. I'm just making people aware. And basically, we were able to get some things done, Emily and myself.
Yep. And she's lucky that it's not worse than it was. It could have gotten to that point if left checked, but we got to it in time, so it didn't go that direction.
Yep. And she's such a sweet person. She's full of love and light. Like, she literally radiates light. And any of you guys that are intuitive or can see things like that, you can tell Megan, she's awesome. So basically, we're not even going to do this week's experiences or anything. We just wanted to kind of preface exactly what you're getting ready to see. It is a Zoom meeting, very, very, very mildly edited. It's a little bit longer than the content we're trying to put out. It's like an hour and a half long, but not too much. Very well worth a watch. And you might learn some things about some intuitive stuff as well. So it's a little bit of teaching, and then it's a lot of paranormally stuff. So guys, definitely stay tuned, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in to the video. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you both so much. Words cannot express how thankful I am to both of you for all of your hard work, for all this information that you gave me. I had no idea all that was going on, so my mind was like blown. I'm like, oh my gosh.
We're glad that it made sense.
Yeah, absolutely made perfect sense.
Because we don't know, going into it, like, we don't know why we're saying what we're saying, but we just get these impressions, and and that's the biggest thing about intuition I've had to learn is like just riding the wave, like trusting 100% in spirit and not second guessing yourself. Yeah,
that's something that you said in Lights at Midnight that really called to me. And when you said it, is ride the wave, and it goes through my mind sometimes of like just go with the flow, ride the wave. I know that I'm a wind earth sign, but I'm also very drawn to fire. I'm drawn to all the elements, probably because of my earth sign, but I love water, I love fire, and just so that message of riding the wave is very important.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've said for a long time, even before I really understood what it meant. And I even like put that on my wall as an affirmation before I even knew what affirmations were. Yeah. And it's helped me through life because I've suffered a lot of trials and tribulations, as anybody else has. But I feel like the trials and tribulations that I've suffered have been able to translate into relatability with my clients and people that are meant to come to me, and I'm meant to meet them, and vice versa. And it's so super important because because without riding the wave, I don't even, honestly, I know this is kind of dark. I don't even know if I would be here because of the amount of stress that I have dealt with at certain times in my life. And knowing that spirit has your back and knowing to trust in the divine, because once you have, I mean, and because everybody's truth is different, right? We're not everybody's perception is the same. And it's so important just to trust your inner gut. And you have such a strong like inner intuition. And I mean,
Yes.
you're already doing an amazing job, in my opinion. So don't
Thank
ever
you so
doubt
much.
that. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I know that, yeah, all of that speaks to me. And I know at the end of the video, because I listened very, very focused on the message from the video, that you said that I don't, that I'm like overly humble about my abilities. It's actually something that comes from, I was in music, like classical music for a long time. And I learned from being in something like that where you have to be absolutely perfect, like in live
Right.
performance every time, absolutely perfect. And you can never be good enough. So that humbleness really comes from that, of knowing that it's like the more I know about something, the more I know I don't know. So it's not that I think I'm like terrible or whatever. It's just that I know that I think about some of the stories I've heard and the experiences I hear from you guys and from Melinda and from like the Warrens and so forth. And it's like, yeah, I haven't quite gotten there yet. But that being said, over the past few years of my life, I've just learned that things that I've been able to do all along, and then through my work in meditation and study and real focus on this every day as much as I can, that I've been able to develop even more. So anyway, for whatever
100%.
that's worth, I'm just a very humble person, but I do try to acknowledge what I can do. So
Right, and that's a good
yeah,
thing, to be humble. Being humble, I think, allows you to actually expand your gifts as well, because if you're doing your things from a place of love, and this goes for anything in life, if you're doing anything like that from a place of love and just being humble, and that's actually a very good quality to have, because people aren't as humble these days. They're more, you know what I mean by that? Just,
yeah, absolutely. They're more like,
and
oh, I'm so great, and they're like super driven by ego, and
Mhm.
exactly. And you can't have ego to do the type of work, or just to have intuition and have it super strong. You have to drop your ego completely.
yeah, absolutely. And that's hard to do. And that's something you said, Emily, was it was actually a response to a question I had a little while ago. As you said that unless you're at a sainthood level, you cannot be at that continuous high vibration. But as much as we can, try to raise our vibration so that we can connect with our guides and with the benevolent divine beings that are trying to help us, then we'll start to get those kinds of messages more. And so, yeah, coming from a really low vibrational point of like, I'm so awesome and I could do this and this and this, they're not going to come through. They're not going to, at least you're not going to hear from them. You're going to hear from something else yeah.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, ego
Sorry.
too isn't just like that kind of sense of ego. It's also like your brain trying to decipher stuff in like a what's the word for it? I don't know. It's kind of like your brain is trying to make sense of stuff as
yeah, from your
well.
perception.
Yes, and that's another reason why I use the blindfold when I do my channels, because I got like that ADHD thing going. And so if I see and get distracted by stuff, I can't get my messages clearly. And so to block out part of that ego for me, that's why I do what I do with the blindfold.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's just my own method.
I
That's super cool.
disassociate.
I do both, but I
Yeah.
can't, because of there's so many distractions around me, like ghosts walking around and crying. Sometimes I'll put on like the other things I'll do is I'll put on my headset. It's the headset that blocks out or cancels the noise too.
Mhm.
So your ears don't pick up stuff. And then you're like, oh my God, what's that sound? Oh my God, it's my dog doing whatever. What's he doing? Like, if I don't block it out, then my mind will go straight to there and I can't focus.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to, like, for people with ADHD and stuff that you can't focus, I feel like those kinds of things to block out any distractions are very helpful.
That's super cool.
Hmm.
especially
Yep.
if you can't just disassociate like Chastity.
Well, I think that comes with a lot of things, like for me, because of the different, I've had to, so I was a bartender and mainly a bartender for the most part. So I had to play a persona while, of course, we all do while we're at work. We have to be happy and bubbly. And, you know, I guess from doing that for years, and also disassociation for me come from dealing with trauma. So it's like a second nature, unfortunately, to me, but I've learned how to use that in this sense, particularly to be able to receive information, because I was the only child till I was 12. And being claircognizant, which is your strongest like ability, like you have 40% of air in your chart, like, you know, being claircognizant, really, honestly, I bet your mind runs 100 miles an hour.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you've already
Yeah.
learned how to discern the difference between your thoughts and all that, and that's great. And like being able to get intuitive information, since we're on the train of intuition, like the automatic writing will probably be one of your best tools.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like writing down, like if you're wanting to focus on something and channel something, if you can just put yourself in that piece of paper and that pencil and just have, you know, focus on that and write down the first thing that comes to mind. You'll figure out,
Mhm.
you ask spirit. What I do is I open space, and I do that by lighting a candle, and just a little white tea light candle. That's just my method. There's many ways you can do it. And I ask for my guides to come in and protect me and give me information, you know, and then I just get my piece of paper and my pencil and I focus on one thing. And you can even write down what you're wanting to focus on at the top of the page, and then just start writing the thoughts that you get. And you might be surprised at actually what you get. Like Spirit's telling me right now that you might get a ton of information that way. And you can practice, like me and Emily have, with cases like true crime cases and stuff that have already
Yeah.
been solved. Like, I mean, you know, because before I ever started offering services, I practiced for like 2 years until I thought I was ready. Even when I didn't feel ready, I pushed myself. And I feel like it's helped me a lot to step outside of my comfort zone and try things that helped like that. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to add that in there. I know I've said that to you, but maybe with a
Yes.
little more context this time.
I actually
Yeah.
just did that for Haley Reed. I put her
Cool.
stuff up at the top. Like I'll put like what Chas said, like the intention on top of the paper, and then I just let it go and see what comes out.
Yep.
That's what I was doing with on like Sam and Colby, or I should say Colby's channel, with Yasko, with Omar. That's how I did all of theirs.
Yep.
Perfect.
Mm.
I don't know why. I completely believe you guys, but I've had certain things like, so it's really funny, right? Because on the one hand, one of the things that you guys told me was I need to have boundaries, because like I got freaking spirits running around messing with me, and I'm opening portals and breaking grids and stuff like that. But then
We've
tried
done it too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
still
oh my
do it.
God. But then when it comes to things like channeling and automatic writing, I just have like this hesitation about like, what if something, like, I don't want to open up that much, if that makes any sense. But obviously it works for you guys, and I completely trust in the information that you're giving me, and that that's something that I need to do, because I really do want to expand my abilities. And
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
and by opening space, you're creating that word, you're creating a safe space for yourself
Yeah.
with your guides. So you're bringing in protection. And I personally haven't had any issues with like, well, let me just say it like this. If it's a paranormal case, sometimes I'll have paranormal activity in my house 2 or 3 days prior. You've probably heard me say this. 2 or 3 days prior, and it's always and it comes and it leaves, it doesn't stay. So I take it as a psychic impression. But
Yeah.
when you're opening space, I understand that it can be scary, trust me, I get that completely. But you have to remember, when you're opening space and you're doing your little routine's so important, that the information is actually coming from a benevolent place. Your vibration is already so high. It's going to be hard for darker things to combined with your energy. Not to say that they can't, but like when you're in, as long as you're in a good mood and you're asking for protection, and you have your crystals or whatever else, and you can even burn a little sage after if you need to, just around your body, you know, and stuff. And it should be okay, is what I'm
Okay.
saying, I think. But I mean, take your time on that. This, whenever you're ready, no rush, of course.
Yeah, no, I will definitely do that. And thank you for that, that guidance. I don't know if that's silly to feel that way. I just, like I said, it probably doesn't seem that way based on the things that have happened to me, but I really do try to be careful because I know that there's a lot, like there's so much going on all around and not all of it is good. So
Right. Right. And it happens. I mean, like on your, on your journey of learning, these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Like opening the portal, like you just didn't know, and we didn't know. It's something we've come to understand through our intuitive, like we didn't know when I first started, and because I found Melinda, and that was the first person I found that I could relate to, because I had not found, I just watched ghost hunting shows and I never got like answers. It was always like, what is this? What is this? They're never giving you answers because they don't have the capability to. But Melinda did give me a foundation of understanding that there are other people. And then I met cool people like you and, Emily and stuff.
Yeah, I met both of you guys through Melinda. Absolutely. No, I'm very grateful for that. I don't even know how I found her, but I found her and I was like super drawn to her right away. And sorry, Loki's here. I've watched, he's a good boy. I probably watched almost all of her videos, and then I got connected with you guys. And yeah, I feel incredibly blessed for all three of you. You guys me so
happy
much.
We met you, because it's like it becomes like a tribe, like you found your tribe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're happy to do it, like especially because me and Emily both work with people that are like us, because we need that foundational support because we don't always have it in the home front. Same for us, like it's the same for us too. For me, it's become a little more accepting because I've been able to like prove to some of my family and friends, but see, I still can't give them advice because they don't want to listen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With that, like I don't know how you guys feel about this, but sorry. Who wants to be famous? One of the things I learned was that people, like, information comes to us based on what we seek and our path and that sort of thing. And hopefully I'm saying this the right way. So especially with some of the stuff that I know, I don't think everyone in my life is ready for that. Ready to, like, for example, I can't imagine talking to my parents about, hey, did you know there's like all these devils running around and they have legions and legions of demons and all the stuff that's going around, there's this spiritual war all around us. Like, I can't imagine talking to my parents about that. But there's certain times in my life where when the moment feels right, I will say something that is not like I don't want to pressure anyone in my life. My husband's gotten a lot of this actually, where it's just depending on the question. If we're talking about something, I will go ahead and say what I think and why I think it. And I just try to do it in a way that's not trying to convert anyone or force anyone, and it's respecting their natural progression, if that makes any kind of sense.
It does.
Yeah,
it really does.
I don't know if I
agree.
said well.
No, you speak very well. Actually, you speak very well about your experiences. You speak very well about. You're very fluent, in my opinion, already when it comes to stuff like this. So I think you said it just right.
Yeah.
And now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, when I talk to my fiance about this stuff, it's kind of like he'll bring up a topic and then I'll kind of like sneak some spiritual stuff in there, but nothing too much. But by doing that, it's kind of opened up his perception a little bit. And like Friday, he asked me, hey, can you see if you can get in touch with my dead friend? And I was like, sure.
I was floored.
I know, because he doesn't really like believe in that stuff. And then I gave him the reading and I was pretty spot on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But so it's like you gotta introduce it just a wee bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
No, Alex is funny. He hates Zach Bagans. Like he's convinced that like Zach Bagans is my TV boyfriend or whatever. So he can't stand him. But there's definitely been time like he knows I'm like, babe, I know you don't believe this, but don't ever use a Ouija board. Don't ever do this. Don't ever do that. Like just don't do it. Okay. Like you don't have to know why. Because he's I think Alex definitely has spiritual belief, but he's not religious at all. And it's like he's slowly getting there. So I just kind of he sees all my books, he knows my crystals, he thinks, he's just kind of accepted that I'm, a little different than most people. So at least with him, I can be a little bit more open. But things like all the stuff I told you guys, like with my dreams and so forth, like I didn't tell him any of that. He already thinks I'm a little crazy anyway.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, Nick, he believes in this kind of stuff. He sees stuff, but me and him still have somewhat two different belief patterns. So it can be challenging at times, but he actually gets psychic impressions and stuff. But he's an Aries, so he's very much strong-willed and all that kind of stuff. So he stands firm on his beliefs, and it's hard to sway him in either way. Well, not sway him in a negative way, but I'm fortunate enough to, he understands what I'm saying, but do we always meet eye to eye? Not necessarily. And sometimes he'll come back and he'll be like, yeah, you were right, or something, but it takes him I think men in general, it takes them a while just to warm up to it because they're they're already angular in their thoughts. Women, we're curvy, we're curves, like we think in circles, men think in squares. So that's the easiest way to explain it for me, and that makes sense. And we're strong women, and I think they're in our lives just as much as we're in theirs. But I feel like a lot of people that do this, we're meant to be with the partners that we are because both of us foundationally shape each other. And in our situation, maybe we're foundationally shaping their spirituality in a way. And over time, that's going to lead to something else. And it might not ever be on the same page, but it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah. Alex is a Libra and there's no way that the way to convince Alex is to not convince him, to let him get there on his own. So just little bits at a time.
Yep.
But no, I think that he'll come along.
I think that's the situation for honestly all of us, because Emily, me and her talk about this, and now you're talking about this, right, Emily?
Oh my god,
it's interesting.
I found out that my dad's a Libra, and I'm like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like he saw when I lived there with my parents, like he saw the books I was ordering, and he was like, what are you doing with your time? Are you worshiping demons? I'm like,
oh my god, really? Yeah, right.
I'm like, no. But it's funny because he didn't believe in any of that stuff, but then I would come downstairs to get like a snack and he'd be watching Ghost Adventures, and I'd be like, you liar.
No, Alex at first, like he thought, he was like, you're a witch, aren't you? Because all this stuff I'm learning. And I'm like, no, I just, I'm exploring and I'm learning. And he's like, okay, but you're totally a witch. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. As long as I'm not evil, then that's fine.
That's so funny. You need to mess with him. Get the broomstick one day when he comes home and put it between your legs and fly it around the kitchen.
Get a little hot.
Oh God. Well,
that's really
is there
funny.
any questions you have about anything? Like, because I think we can talk about some things today too that pertaining to the information we got, and we can talk about how we can try to. Okay, let me preface with this. We definitely were picking up on your old house. That's obvious.
Yes.
This house, I don't feel as much just naturally. I haven't channeled anything in. This is just me going with the natural flow of channeling. I don't feel like you have as much going on in this house, to be 100% honest. I feel like this house is light, yeah, is like lighter and clearer. And it's not like the last house was like super dark or anything, but I think where you were learning, you were in a very big learning stage by being
Mhm.
there. That's what brought a lot of this in. The portal itself, we can close it from the old house because it has your energetic resonance associated with it. So I can, and I've already been to that room, like in my mind's eye. So I kind of projected to that place,
Mhm.
and I can actually more than likely help close that out.
That would be amazing because I felt really bad. I literally had no idea that that was going on. And so if I knew that, I would have tried to do something before I moved out.
Right.
And as far as what you said with like that place, um, so I don't want to talk too much, but that
No, you're
house
fine.
we were in a duplex, and my neighbor, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm a very loving person and I love
Yes.
everyone. That doesn't mean I condone everyone's behavior, but my inclination with everyone is to see the good in them. But this lady, man, she was like, from the moment I met her, she was super, super negative, and she was yelling and slamming doors and so forth. So there was a lot of just negativity next door. Across the street, they had a freaking Satanist Wi-Fi password.
Oh,
From somewhere over there. And then my brother-in-law lived with us for a long time, and he is a lovely person, but he is the most he's the biggest addict that I know. He was a severe alcoholic. I mean, severe alcoholic, and he also had undiagnosed bipolar, like really severe bipolar condition. So between the neighbor and him and whoever across the street, there was just a lot going on around. And then here I am delving into demonology. So I'm like, trying to be really careful about it, but it just makes sense that there was a lot going on there. And I was actually wondering if that skeleton lady was drawn to me, not just because of me myself, but also the situation with my brother-in-law.
yeah. And I think the skeleton, and like when you were talking about that, I feel like the skeleton lady actually come from next door.
Okay, that would make
And
sense.
it could be drawn to your brother. Not to say that you're wrong at all. I think you're right. But I feel like that skeleton, I don't know how you feel, Emily, but that Skeletor, I call it Skeletor, lady, she was mosey on in between both places.
Well, Chas, when
Mhm.
you were doing the card pull, you did pick up the card with the
Yep,
alcohol. So
absolutely.
I
And that
know
would,
that has something to do with it.
yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those cards don't read that way in the book either. And because I did those just based on intuition. So there,
Mhm.
because the actual meaning of the cards don't reflect what I said in the intuition. So yes, I think that thing was around the area and
Mhm.
potentially have something to do like the negative vibrations from your neighbor, and then attracted to you said brother or brother-in-law. I'm sorry, I
But
can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that hits home for me.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. I
Yeah.
will say though, I keep seeing Chas. I don't know if you've seen it, if this is part of the old house or this house here, but I keep seeing like gray like swirls, but like kind of like a I don't know how to describe it. It's just going in this motion and it's gray.
That might be the portal
Okay.
because I mean they can appear to us in different ways. Now, all the intuition and all the things that I got from what we did, that to me is all coming from the old house thus far.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's all from the old house. So I'm going to say, unless it's something, I don't think it's from the new house. That's just my personal intuitive opinion.
Mhm.
But that could be the gray swirly could be energy though. Could be, and I mean, how does any of that hit home with you? Either portal or just energy in general, like a manifestation.
It's
That might be
coming
the thought form you picked up.
because it's coming across as like smoky, cloudy energy, but
Oh,
it's swirling.
yeah. So that could be. So okay, all right. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the words for this. I thought form. It is emotions from something there. I don't think this is associated with Megan. It's from somebody else there or in the area. where negative foggy thoughts, like, because foggy minded stuff, they're funneling their information, their feelings into this energy mass, and it's like sucking it up. It's some sort of thought form trying to form, or some type of energy pool, energy drain.
It's like a
But
tornado, but horizontal.
Yes, I see it. I see what you're
Okay.
saying. But I see a light blue energy, or not necessarily like Carolina blue, but like a lighter blue energy. So that's telling me sadness, anxiety, gloomy, possible depression. Like, that's what's fun. Those types of emotions are funneling into that
It sounds like
swirl.
Chris. Sounds like my brother-in-law.
And he
Although
lived
I
with
don't know the neighbors super well, but he was in a very, very dark, depressed, very like inward, like self-destructive.
and he was living with you?
Bipolar. Yes.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then.
Yes.
So yeah, that was something funneled around his addiction and his depression, and that is definitely coming from him, because that hits home for me.
Because I'm
Yeah.
seeing like lightning strikes too in this swirly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's building energy. And when I say thought form, that doesn't mean it's going to turn into like a person, or like one of those googly eyed things we see, Emily, sometimes. But I think it's more or less like just something that funnels in. Could it become something like portal-esque? Yeah, it could. But that's all. You can transcend things like that very easily by bringing in the light. And I don't feel like that's there. Does he live with you now?
No.
I didn't think so, because I don't pick up his energy at all now.
Yeah.
We're still on the old house. Now the question is, has anything come with you to the new house?
I was going to ask you guys that. I was wondering, because I know certainly if it was depending on the type of haunting, it can follow you, but if it's residual or just really based on location, then maybe it didn't. Not sure.
You're not having as much paranormal activity in this house as you did there, did you?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't think. Now the male energy could have.
I think the guy's around.
Yes, he's following you.
Yeah.
The grandmothery crony figure. And Emily, please let me know if this hits home for you, or if you have anything to add.
I'm channeling. So like right now I'm seeing the spiky thing.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm seeing at the moment, but that doesn't mean that the
negativity absorber.
Yeah.
Negativity absorber. That is the spiky thing, could have come out of that swirl that you were seeing. It could be associated with that, and that's a negative. It's pulling in the negative energy, like we were just saying.
That was really cool, by the way. You guys figured out what that was, because I had no idea when I saw it. I was just like, I had no idea what to make of it, other than I could see what it looked like. I'm sure it actually has color, but to me it looked gray and dark. And it didn't feel super bad. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because it was neutral. That's why I didn't feel either way. That's why it was also gray, because the mix between dark and light is gray. And that's something I've been thinking about that I didn't mention in the podcast, is how you said it was gray. Well, I think that's because it's a neutral object, or some type of spiritual whatever object. I think it's gray because it is neither. It's literally sits in a neutral standpoint, and it literally spinning around, absorbing energy. That's just wild. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. There was, I don't know why it was there or who sent it or whatever, but I'm really thankful it was there, because there was a lot of negativity in that house. And I tried my best to keep good vibrations in there. I did a lot of like candle burning and saging and stuff like that. But when you're up against that much all the time, like,
and it's coming at you from multiple directions. It's not just, you're basically splitting a house with somebody else.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I hope you
Mhm.
like your neighbor.
I
I
never
have
see her.
never had, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I have
she's a mouse
never had someone
problem,
like
but
that.
and a
Yeah.
spirit problem.
Yeah,
This
so
does
the spirits will congregate in her neighbors in the duplex part of the house, like in the other side.
Mhm.
And Emily she has less doors now. She has mainly one door, but the door isn't technically there anymore. There's a tree there. I planted a
I
tree.
also sealed it with metal, so
Yeah.
metaphysical metal. I blocked it so nothing can be there.
Yeah, and it's something that developed over time. Like we had to like a year ago, I went in like an astral vision or a remote viewing type thing, and it's definitely in another realm though because it's hard to really name it because it's not quite astral projection, and it's not quite remote viewing. So I'm going to come up with my own term for it, like I have to sometimes, because there's
Mhm.
no terminology for this stuff. Like
Mhm.
some of this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
people don't really talk about it, but yeah, so that was sealed. We're working on getting that sealed because when it comes to astral projection, I do not try to astral project, and it's nothing against anybody that does. It's just something that I don't know. I astral project in different ways, and like you, it's generally when I'm in that in between awake and asleep state, and even meditation I'll visualize. But as
Mhm.
far as sitting down and actually astral projecting is something that I haven't really tried to do a whole lot. But I don't know what you would consider me remote viewing because if there is a paranormal issue, I do like a jump. That's the only thing I know how to describe it as. Like I jump from where I'm at to like your room when I was describing it to you. I
Mhm.
closed my eyes because I could see it, but it's like seeing the present and seeing this like time fractal or something.
Mhm.
That's the only way I know how to
To
describe it.
me,
And I
that's
don't know.
astral projection. It's
Yeah, I
just you're
agree.
realm
I agree.
jumping and
Mhm.
Yeah, and
yeah.
this is happening. And see, it's hard for me I mean, I agree. I can agree with that. I'm not going against it. But every time I've heard people talk about astral projection, it's something that takes time and they meditate. This shit happens like instantaneously within a millisecond. I'm there. So
Mhm.
I guess it is astral projection, but it doesn't line up with what I've heard people I know. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So it's
because
just hard.
expectation versus reality, it's like
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
expect it to be a certain way when it's
It's
not
not.
for
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I just
Um,
don't, that makes sense because I just don't have the same type of experiences.
Yes. Exactly.
yeah, and that's what you said there, Emily. That is something that I'm
Mhm.
working on myself as far as something that blocks me all the time is I feel like things are supposed to be a certain way
Yeah.
and they may
Mhm.
not actually be that way. So what you were just saying, Chas, as far as like when I saw that spider, for example, I wasn't trying to do anything. It was so weird because when it happened, I thought I was awake. I thought I was awake and I'm looking next to me and there's this huge black spider. And so when I woke up and turned the light on, it was like super trippy that number one, that happened. And number two, I knew, okay, I was just astral projecting and that's what that's like. Um, so, it's like I was able to do that, but then I know that I've had astral experiences while I'm asleep. It's not
Yes.
that it happens every night, but it's more when I wake up, if I feel like there was a message or someone significant came, then just kind of depending on what my experience was, I can kind of determine if that was a potential astral traveling experience. And I'm getting better at writing things down. I know, Emmy, you talk about that all the time about, we need to write things down, and you're absolutely right, because little things will happen that,
Mhm.
might end up being pretty significant later on.
I will also say,
Absolutely.
like, the thing is, when you see different like influencers and like psychic people online, all we can do is give our, our experiences. And sometimes people think that's how it is for everybody, and
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
they don't take in consideration that it depends on so many things on how a person will experience a certain thing. And like with Chastity was, I'm sure she explained that to you with like the astrology stuff. And I know she
Mhm.
has explained it to me about like how I'm going to experience things, especially astrally, because of where my signs and stuff fall. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a lot of stuff that like nobody talks about. And
Nope.
so people in the paranormal community think it's going to be a certain way for everybody all the time. And that's
Yep.
where that expectation versus reality problem comes for others trying to learn mediumship.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
why, yeah, and that's why Spirit told me, like, and I didn't understand this fully until, and not, I mean, it's something I don't say I'm understanding 100%, but like on my journey, when I first started, like Spirit kept giving me the word perception. Perception is going to be a big, important part of what you learn. And at the time, I didn't realize that they were telling me that the perception, that's what I'm going to be teaching, is a perception, and helping people understand that they have different perceptions. And I just wrote like a 15-page paper on basically perception that I've got to make a video into, and I'm excited to do it. But
That's
it's so
awesome.
important. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
important to understand the perceptions and not get caught up in somebody else's, because even though me and Emily, we do very similar work, we're still two different
Mhm.
people, and our astrological signs do influence. And our placement and our time of birth is basically our destiny, and it influences to see things differently. So she'll see things in a different way. We might see the same thing, but it'll come in differently. So, and it's perfectly normal.
Mhm.
It's perfectly normal.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can I tell if I have a portal, like I've opened a portal, or if there's issues with the grids in my space? What would you guys recommend? Because I had, again, no idea that that was going on before.
So
I
the
didn't-
fact that you're seeing, like, you're okay, we'll use the last one as an example, and then I'm going to give you a piece of information. Okay. So those necklaces were, when they picked up off the wall, were they headed towards that corner?
So they were on the same wall as
Yep.
the portal. So we'll just pretend it's like this wall. They were
Yep.
like this normally, and they went up like that.
Okay, so they're going like that's literally like a gravitational thing. That's one sign, and I'm not trying to be silly when I say that, but I was thinking about that, but it's something I didn't cover in the podcast that I wish I would have. That's one. But see, grids, when grids are broken down, you'll have paranormal activity in your house. And it
Okay.
can be anything from super negative to positive. Like, but see, for me, like higher vibrational beings, they connect in a different way. I think I explained this on the episode.
Yes. Yeah.
They're a different energy. They're not as dense as a lower vibrational energy, because lower vibe energy, and when I see things that are negative, they are so close to an earthy perspective, because it's a dense energy. Like, we're definitely dense energy, but they're just in another realm. So you'll have paranormal activity or some type of weird activity when the grids are broken down in your house. You'll walk through your house, you might get a funny feeling in certain rooms. You might get a tingly, or like, one of the things when the grids are really broken down for me in a place, if I'm physically walking through it, I'll feel like I'm falling through the floor.
Oh yeah, like in the hotel room.
Yep, and that's if the grids are broken down, you can tell that way. But if you're having more or less dreams and stuff, and it's not as much physically in your house, that means that if you're having anything negative trying to influence you, they're going to do it through your dreams, because they can't get in your house. But if you're having something negative, happen in your house, and then you're having negative dreams, then you know that it's more than likely on your turf, like kind of mixed in with your realm. And also too, you'll hear noises and stuff too. I mean, it's just basically paranormal activity in a sense. So, and like I said, I don't feel like it's like that in your house right now. I really
Yes.
don't.
And I'm not getting a headache, so that's a good sign.
Yay. Cool. That definitely helps a lot. Thank you very much. Because I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that again, and I definitely want to make sure, if that's starting to happen again, that I am aware of it so I can do something about it. Actually, today I was telling Emmy this. I did a full like sage clearing, windows open, and then I went around with Palo Santo and my little bells, and I just was like, okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's very crystal clear. I can tell, because like, as I'm you know, watching you and then tapping into the energy of your house, like it's very clear. Like I don't
Yeah.
feel cloudy at all. So,
Mhm.
and to
Good.
fix grids, I mean, unless you can do it from a multi-dimensional standpoint to fix grids, the only way a person can do that is and is with like clearing and stuff and asking for your divine spiritual team to help you close out any portals and stuff like that. Now, if you are a person like me where I remote travel and clear people's houses, then I have my spirit team help me with that too. So, I mean, I see them. How can I say this? So, for example, I just helped a family in Kentucky. They had paranormal issues for 7 years. Okay, like 7 years straight. And I saw everything there. And then I have like a certain candle burning routine that I do. And then I go to their house remotely, and the family hasn't had any paranormal issues since. That's all I really know. Like my spirit team does a lot. I do only 10% of the work, probably. They're doing the rest, but I initiate crossing over. I have to talk to the beings there. And it's not always, of course, with words, it's more telepathically or through feelings, but I have to communicate with the things there. And if they're human, I have to actually talk to them about crossing over. So, like this man, he's not going to want to go. But if he's hurting you, I can make him leave no matter what. Free will is he's broken his universal laws. He's in spirit. He doesn't have the same universal laws as we do. I mean, there are some that overlap, but like no matter what, we can make him leave.
I
But
was so excited when you said that. Like I was like, oh thank God.
Mhm.
Because
mhm.
that really creeped me out. It's really disconcerting to think about somebody's like watching you all the time.
Do you
Yeah.
feel watched right now?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, good. Your house is pretty clear. So
Mhm.
I was just curious. It's like kicking him out, but I think I'll be able. And like, if I mean, it's not going to take a ton of work. I don't think. I told this to Emily. I don't feel like it will. I actually already started on the process last night when I was in between my awake and asleep state. And I talked to, well, not talked, but kind of communicated with both and told them, hey, we gotta go. So I'm going to go ahead and try to finish that out tonight. And like I said, it doesn't take very long, and then we'll just see how things go. Now, I'm not, if poking and prying into this, it can make you have or just dreams and stuff. So please keep us informed of that. But
Mhm.
you're doing the right thing already. You're already clearing and cleansing, and you already have all that stuff down. We're just going to need a little extra push from spirit to get this guy out of your aura. And I feel like he already kind of is departing. I don't know how Emily feels about that, but
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It looks like the threads are like ring, like they're
yeah.
yeah.
So if you say threads, then that'll help me visualize, and then I can go ahead and actually cut those
Mhm.
and energetically and go ahead and see if we can get him to move on, because they'll take him. They're not just going to kick him out. They'll take him.
Mhm.
So but yeah, I hope that kind of explain. I know it's really hard because I honestly can't tell you exactly how all of it happens. I just know it happens. I feel it happen. And it's just something that I've come to be able to do, and I'm blessed. It's not me, it's spirit. Spirit does it all. And I'm blessed and I'm honored to be able to help people with stuff like this.
I really, really appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. That was yeah, really creepy. And it was one of those, it was like if they can be helped, that's, I always want to help people as a first inclination, but like you said, you know, with the guy especially, it's like that, just get out of here. Like
Right. And see, they will help him because the beings of light, they will help 100%. They give him the option on whether or not he wants to cross over, go into the light and heal, or they take him somewhere else, and that will be his choice. So
okay.
he does, when I do this, it's not like he's going to go to any bad place. He gets a choice though, like, and I don't know where they go. They
Yeah.
just take them to some, I mean, I can tell if something crosses over because it looks a certain way in my mind's eye, but like when they're taken, they're all taken into the light, but I don't know what happens after that.
Yeah. And is that something, so I know that the skeletal lady came from next door, but like that guy, is that something that I should just expect to happen on a somewhat regular basis. So, and to kind of go along the train of that thought, so then it's really important that I do clearings like I did today on a more regular basis, because, you know, that's just part of, you know, being the way that we are. Is that correct?
You want to answer that one, Emily?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, you're gonna have stuff come in from time to time. I do. And
Mhm.
I mean, for me, cleansing, it used to be like bi-weekly, but I gotten to a point where I can spread it out a bit to where it's like a month or once every 2 or 3 months. So I think it kind of depends. But for you, since you're actively like studying demonology and things, I would probably start bi-weekly, and if it feels good, maybe spread it out.
Okay.
That's how I would do it.
But
don't know.
yeah, you want to guard yourself
Yeah.
for sure. Like keep yourself guarded. Like you've already got a spiritual routine, and a lot of things again are like you can construct with your thoughts. Our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts
Mhm.
literally generate, because I do my clearings with my somewhat with my thoughts. It's the intention. So just keeping that
Mhm.
you're already super high vibe, but you're going to have things that can come your way.
Mhm.
But again, you have the grandma gang. You have the
I'll give
grandma
you
gang.
that.
You have spiritual
Yeah.
guides that are helping protect you, and your vibration is already pretty high. Because I mean, I know everybody has their ups and downs, but you're generally a happy person, and that makes it, to
Yeah.
me, that's how I feel, and that makes a world of
Mhm.
difference.
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
projecting light through your house, like literally you can lay in bed and you can scan your house with light. If you feel
Mhm.
comfortable, you could try that and you might end up seeing something. So what I've what I basically have done in the past is I'll lay in bed and I will visualize my house and I'll walk through my house in a vision, just doing it, you know, on purpose. And I've got to the point now where I can do it as like an overview. So if I'm laying in my bed, and physically, I can actually take like a light bar and start at one side of my house and scan it like a scanner. And if anything's
That's
there, it'll
awesome.
pop up. So it'll be different and those types of practices and stuff can transition, but you already project so much light and you're out of that initial learning phase. You've already ascended, is what I'm trying to say. And we continue to ascend.
Mhm.
Like I've over the last year, I think I've been given like 2 different ascension levels, and that sounds really, it's not really how it happens in a way, but that's the only way I know how to describe it with human words.
Mhm.
It's knowledge, and like the more you go and the more you trust in yourself and you don't second guess yourself and you trust in spirit through these, you know, your intuition, and the more you do it from a place of purity and love and with no
Mhm.
expectation of gain in return,
Mhm.
this is my experience, is the more gifts I have been given.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So
That's awesome. What you were talking about with the visualization, I need to do that again. It was Christmas last year, you know, I had lights around the house, and I don't know if I heard it from someone, but I was trying to imagine like golden light going from each wall to each wall and then trying to keep stretching that. And it was hard because I only tried it once, but I feel like if I do that and just keep doing it, it'll get easier and easier.
yep.
Um, but yeah, no, I really love that.
Yeah, and that's one way too. And like if you feel an area, like when you do that, if you feel an area, you can ask your guides to come in and help you clear it.
Okay.
So that would be my best suggestion, you know. And I think, you know, me giving you my story of how I did my light, I think yours will change over time too. It's just the more you practice, it is practice. It takes a while to be able to discern the difference between intentions. Like it really does. It's not something that comes overnight. I know me and Emily have had to work really hard,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's just when these things happen for me, it could be different for somebody else. It just clicks. It's just like something clicks. That's the only way I know how to describe it. My perception changes, and then something spiritually will be advanced.
Mhm.
It
Absolutely.
comes, I don't know if you can relate to that, or Emily, if you can
Yes.
relate to that, but
Yep.
that's just how it's happened for me. So I'm hoping that'll help. But I think, I mean, me and Emily can look into it. I can look into it. I can almost guarantee he's not going to be a problem anymore.
Mhm.
Thank
Like,
you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. When's the last time I mean, he's my main concern. The girl with, I
Mhm.
don't feel the Skeletor person. Do you feel the Skeletor person in her new house, Emily?
No.
I don't either. I think it stayed behind with the low vibration, to honestly.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and there's nothing I can do about that because there's an ethical boundary. I don't have permission to go back to that house. I can do the portal because your energy is attached to it, right? I can do that. But as far as going back and into that space in the present, I can't do it that way. But Spirit
Mhm.
has gave me the green light for the portal. But anything else I can't
Cool.
really do because you don't live
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah. Yeah.
energy's not attached to her. So, and she's not a bother, but I don't feel her around at all anymore either. So based on your stories, that's what we got. But now, grandmother's obviously still there. You know, she's
Mhm.
around. She's more of an omnipresent energy than like a condensed physically type dense energy. He is, he's definitely around you, but not like hovering. I don't want you to think that but he's just like a lying in wait. He found some familiarity from his life in you and in your personality. There was somebody that he admired in his lifetime that you remind him of, and that's why he did this. He's a low vibrational person, honestly.
Mhm.
He has
Mhm.
not healed. And everybody, no matter what you've done in life, everybody deserves healing. And then whatever
Absolutely.
happens after, yeah. So I mean, that's really the only potential threat, and it's not like on high alert either, but the potential threat
Mhm.
that I personally see. Emily, what do you feel?
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I've been trying to look like as everyone's talking to see like what's going on. And yeah, he's kind of just staying back a bit, just
Yep.
away. Yeah. He's
Yep.
just
But he
waiting.
knows we're talking about him
Oh,
because
he
I can
Yeah.
knows.
see him.
He's
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I can see him and he's just like ducking in a corner and he's just kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I did see pinpoint lights above your head, Megan. So
I
that's
saw something above her head too, and we're gonna have to roll it back because I've seen the reflection of the window, like
yeah, I
cars
saw
going
that
by.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
But this
30
is different.
seconds there was 30 seconds like right after I hit record, I think, that I saw it.
I saw like a mist. I thought it was smoke, like maybe she had an incense burning, and I haven't said
No.
anything,
I
but it
saw
was
cat
probably about
hair go wee,
Yeah.
but above her head it was a sharp pinpoint light.
okay. And
I
above her
see.
head, I saw that smoky like thing, like maybe 20 minutes ago.
I see not all the time, but little pinpricks of light in different colors. That's a sign that I've asked for from my spirit guides. I see
Nice.
numbers most often. I see number sequences every day, but I've asked to see those little pinpoint pricks. So that'd be really cool if it
Yeah,
was.
I see those as well in my room and stuff. And sometimes they
Mhm.
come in as validation lights. I'll be
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about something and giving somebody spiritual advice, and I get like a little pinprick of light around the room, and that's spirit's way of saying, yes, that is
Mhm.
accurate. And that's just
Yeah.
my cue, but I can relate in that way. So yeah, I've experienced the same thing for sure. So that's probably definitely why Emily saw it
Mhm.
for sure. I think it's good. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel anything bad from it.
Mm-mm.
But as far as anything else, the only other place, is there like a double window pane in your living room?
Do you want me to walk you around the house?
Yeah, that would, if you're comfortable with that, that would actually be great.
You want me to stay in camera or just kind of point my phone around?
If you want to point, however you feel comfortable, if we could just see the house, yeah, that would be
Sure,
good.
sure. Okay, so I'll just turn this around. You guys are in this
That's
little
it.
breakfast
Yeah.
nook right now. And then this is my kitchen. That's the downstairs. This is my kitchen. Sorry, it's a little dirty. You can turn the lights on. This is my living room. I love mirrors, which I know that's like a potential concern, but I really love mirrors.
You can clear them
Um,
as long as they're not focused. But
yeah,
okay, so every window's
this is my
double
living
pane, but
room.
I was seeing a double paned window and I'm seeing golden light shine through in your living room through those.
That's
For
good.
whatever
Hallway.
reason, I'm being drawn to the living room and I don't know why
Okay,
yet.
let me go back to the living room.
Yeah, because I saw that. It's kind of how I saw it. It might be, I don't know why, but there's some type of residual energy in that space. And I don't know if Emily can agree with me, but I saw it in my mind's eye like a double large window, but I saw that you had one in front of you too, but this one is more accurate to what I saw.
Wait, can
Yeah.
you go back to your that wooden thing? That thing.
This thing.
The big wooden
Okay.
thing in the corner?
Yeah, because I saw the Earthbound spirit ducking behind that.
That's
Oh,
why I'm
great.
being drawn there then, yeah, because I think I'm seeing him behind her at some point in my mind's eye.
it was like right where she's walking right now. He was looking around there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm feeling that.
This is my room. And I was in the middle of making the bed, but this is my bedroom.
It's nicer than
Pretty.
mine. My room's a fucking mess.
And then okay, so yeah, it's just me and Alex, but I love plants, and so I've got my plants inside and my giant cat tree. This is like the extra bedroom that's a sort of random room.
There's spiritual plants growing in that room.
I was just gonna say I see a lot of silver energy in there.
Yeah, but it's a lot of earth energy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And then so I can take you guys. Well, I don't know. You saw the bathroom already, right? Like not much to see. Like, okay, bathroom. And then I'll take you guys downstairs. So this is an old house. It was built in the early 1900s. I actually really like old houses. So we have a partially finished basement down here and more plants, just random stuff.
Okay. This is hideout. He hides out down here.
Yeah, that figures. This is right below my bedroom. So when I clear, I make special attention to like clear this space. And then the garage. There we go. And that is the house.
I see him like messing with tools.
Nice.
Like, I don't know if it's something he did when he was alive.
Yeah.
But I see him messing with like a wrench.
Yeah.
Working.
Oh, there's Jake. Hi, Jake.
Oh, the movers.
Yeah.
I will say though, I do feel nervous around the bathroom area though.
Okay.
But that wooden thing is also kind of overlooking it too.
Okay. So this thing.
Yeah.
There's one in the corner too. It's weird because I was drawn to the one on the opposite side of the wall. And was that your grandmother's?
This one?
What is that one? Yeah, I saw that one. That one was interesting to me. So I'm drawn to the furniture there too. Did they come from the old house or is any of it your grandma's?
I have a lot of stuff here from my grandparents.
Okay.
But this and that other wooden piece is actually from here, I'll show you guys. From my family friends, the Taylors. They've known me my whole life, especially Melissa. So they're almost like second parents.
Okay.
But like this piece here, and I have tapestries that are from my grandparents' house.
Okay.
So I have a lot of furniture from.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's the residual energy because I feel like something in that house definitely, like more so, like you said, it's got your grandmother's energy on it. It's not bad or anything, but for some reason that cabinet, and Emily's drawn to the other cabinet, so something energetically is going on with that. But thank you for doing this because it helps us kind of see, and it validates. I've been drawn to that living room, so for whatever reason,
you know what I see. So when he's getting really sus and is trying to spy into the bathroom, I see your grandmother grabbing him by the back of his collar and yanking him. And
the grandma gang.
Yeah, she's just like, oh hell no. And she's grabbing him by his back of his collar and yeeting him backwards.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, ever since you guys said that he was around, I was like, every time I go take a shower or whatever, I'm like, I feel so like, just gross, you know? Like, come on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely get that taken care of.
He's going bye-bye.
For sure.
Did you want me to go back in the bathroom or I don't know.
To Emily, I'm good with the space because I feel like so you can relax now.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm gonna write this down too. I have a pen and piece of paper and If I
Oh,
had my stuff together, I might go ahead. I'm going to try to clear this
check out my
tonight.
bookshelf. I have a number of bookshelves. But yeah,
Oh,
that's the
nice.
kind of stuff that Alex was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Ours are just like that too. There's just so much shit on mine packed
Yeah.
up. I've got like moon water, and I keep all my herbs on the
Yeah.
top shelf. And I've expanded. I've got to expand because it's getting a little wild in here. It's like where the wild things are
You
in my
need
fucking room.
you need the wall shelves like I have.
Yeah. I'm gonna do moss in my room. When I get my filming area and everything set up and I get it like I want to get it, it's gonna be like an enchanted metalhead forest. It's gonna have I'm gonna have because I do the terrariums and stuff. Yeah. I want to make it all like moon, and I'm gonna build my room like a terrarium, I swear, because it's
That's what
gonna go
I tried to do, and then I got yelled at.
from heaven to earth. There's gonna be earth and
Like,
heaven
look,
in my room.
I have a tree. That's from my old room. My background, like my old room was literally a forest, and my mom was getting pissed.
It's so funny because me and Emily have the same tapestry like that before we even knew each other.
That's awesome.
I know that's just rando information, but
Yeah.
living room, bathroom, and basement. But I mean, he can go throughout the whole house, but
Yeah.
I think he concentrates, like his hiding spot is the basement. In the
Yeah.
living room, there's something that's happened in that living room, and not necessarily why you live there, but there's some residual energy. And if Spirit was showing that and Emily's seen that, we know he hangs out in there too for whatever reason. And then the bathroom, you're feeling watched.
Yeah.
Mhm. Do you guys think I need to do another clearing in the living room, or just
It won't
okay.
until he's gone, because he's when we get done with this, like I'm trying right now, I'm gonna have to probably do it off camera, the clearing, and I'm gonna ask Emily to give me a hand, and me and her will try to do that. I'm gonna do my, what was that? Something
Sorry.
cat. It was a cat.
Yes.
Freaked me out. But I'm gonna try to do the clearing tonight. I don't have any candles right now, which I don't have to have them. It's just that's more of a comfort for me. So I can try to do that tonight.
Is
And
it the
then
new moon tonight though?
the new moon's already happened, but yes, it's today. So today's the day you want to do your intentions and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that later myself. But yeah, it's a good time to kind of, you did the right thing by clearing on you did the clearing today, right, Megan?
Yes.
Yep. New moon is is one of the best times to do that. And unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if Emily can agree with this, but I don't think any amount of clearing until Sage or Palo
No.
Santo is going to get rid of him.
There's
He's too
still
persistent.
and there's too many threads left too.
Yeah. And it's done through the fear that you had. These threads were created through the fear that you had from past experiences with him. And I don't know. I mean, you don't have to answer this question, but I'm just going to, you don't have to say anything. I'm just going to make this statement. If you've had any issues with any type of abuse in the past like that, then that could be another thread.
I've not that I haven't had any issues in my life, but I've never had any kind of sexual abuse or any physical abuse at all in my life. I've had actually overall a very blessed life, I would say, compared to what a lot of people go through.
Okay, so that rules out anything like that. So mainly, I think he's just attracted to you because you're familiar energy to him from his life. There was somebody very similar to you, maybe had blonde hair, maybe even looked like you, but the energy signature. Mother. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too at first.
Like, your mom, yeah.
This person was very messed up in life, that's why he's here.
I was gonna say she was also a what's it called when somebody I can't think of the word. OMG. Oh my god. It's now my thoughts went bloop, all gone. Like when somebody kind of helps somebody when they have a problem and they shouldn't.
Enabler.
Yeah, she was an enabler.
Okay.
Yeah. But the threads I think are coming from your past experiences of fear.
Yeah.
And he was able to build those on that, because I don't see any other way that would happen.
Mhm.
So
I'm
but yeah,
wondering, like, in the past, though, if you thought it was something worse than it was. You might have said that to me, though. And I'm thinking that's where the fear came, because you thought it was something worse than it
Yeah.
was.
So
I'll be
how,
right back, guys.
oh, you're
Yeah.
fine. So all of this stuff has been building up my whole life, but it was especially like I feel like I don't know if it was the end of my awakening or what, but when I watched Demon House multiple times, I was really drawn to that particular film. And the last time I watched it, I literally felt the presence of that entity in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after that, sometime around then, I discovered Melinda. And then I started getting really into studying demonology. So
Mhm.
I had, I and I felt being watched from those types of entities from doing that. So I did have concern about putting
Yeah.
myself and my family in danger from that, from my being drawn to that. And I had to ask that question of why the heck am I, you know, am I interested in this? Like nobody else in my life is interested in this, but I've always been really particularly drawn to this.
Mhm.
So anyway, it probably was a result of like it may have started kind of during that time because
Yeah.
the feeling the spooning, I mean, that was a while ago. I can't remember exactly when that was. And that dream that I described, that was at least a couple of years ago. So he's probably been around for a little while.
Hmm. Chas, did you get all that?
I got most of it. I'll sit here listening. I'm having to check something because I think somebody was at our back door. We heard knocking, but I've had to check my phone because my daughter's supposed to be coming home, and I'm just looking to see if they messaged my
Here's something
youngest
weird.
daughter.
I just felt something really warm touch me right here.
Mm. It might be physical manifestation of what she's experiencing or has experienced.
Have you felt like anything's touched you like when you're awake?
Um, a little bit, but not the the thing in the bed was like the most I felt physically touched.
Okay. Because I feel this from time to time too, so it's not even just like
Mhm.
with Megan here, Chas.
It could be one of your signs then, because I'm
Yeah.
not initially picking up anything from that, except
Yeah.
it could be like, you know, something associated with what we're talking about, because we're not necessarily stirring him up in a bad way, because he's not
No,
going to be able to do anything. Like, and I don't think he's been able to do anything. He's just
it
hanging
doesn't
around.
it doesn't feel
Yeah,
like him either, so
right. But that does happen to you, so I don't know exactly
yeah.
why though.
Well, I'll have to
Mhm.
learn at some point. I'll have to meditate on that.
Yeah, it could be something to do with something. It could just be because I mean, where you're so clairsentient.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be an issue getting rid of him. Just acknowledging him. He's in the light right now. Like, not as in the light like crossed over, but
Mhm.
the light is being focused in on him. So I can go ahead right now and send. I'm asking for guardians to come. You've already got the grandma gang. They're going to work on.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That must be why. And Emily said she grabbed him by the collar and pulled him. I wonder if that's why the
Yeah.
word grandma gang came through, because she's like roughing him up a little bit to keep him away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we might see about what we can do is we can clear, right? And I'll do that off camera, because I do it better when I'm just kind of in my
Mhm.
zone. You know,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
haven't got to the point where I feel comfortable doing it like on camera, which at
Yeah.
some point I will. But
Mhm.
it's something that we can do. Me and Emily can scan the area and see how we feel about it, and then we can revisit this. Maybe let's say, so once I clear and you already are not feeling anything, so you don't have any big markers me and Emily are going to probably have to go back and look. So if you were having active paranormal activity and you could measure it stopping, then it would be easier to say that it's cleared or not. But I feel confident we can clear this out. And we might see if we could do another walkthrough of your house in like the next week or two, just a brief walkthrough and see if we feel or see anything else. But personally, I think they're with him now. Like, I don't know. I'm seeing him as a dark figure. I haven't got any details on him. I see him as a dark figure because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. More so for me, that's my opinion. Doesn't really matter who he is, what he looks like. He's there. He's got light on each side of him, these beings of light, and he's in a white room. So that means they've already took him for me. That's my sign of Zen, like they're containing him. Now we just have to convince him to cross. But if he pushes back too much, they will take him no matter what.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
No problem. And we'll just keep us updated too. Keep us updated on how you're feeling, because if there is a possibility, because sometimes there's like, whether you might not have a strong connection feeling with him at all, of course, because of what it is. But if you notice, like, you may feel a little sad, you may have some type of grieving, and I'm not saying you will, but sometimes there's a grieving process for people that have had things like this around, and they don't understand why when these things move on. But just know it's not necessarily your own feelings, it's just the feeling of him leaving. Okay.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. And ultimately, if you notice any changes, positive or negative, over the next week, just drop us a message in the Lights at Midnight Instagram chat. That way me and Emily both can see it, and then we can determine from there any progress, positive or negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said Lights at Midnight podcast, the Instagram
chat,
DM?
if you can. That way we both, or the Lights at Midnight podcast Gmail, whichever you're comfortable with. That way me and Emily both can get the update at the same time, because we have our stuff linked.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Emily, do you have anything else you want to add to the situation?
No, I think you got it. I mean, because I just see grandma sitting there, like you said, in that white room. I see her there, like, sit down, like, you don't get to move unless I say so, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Grandma gang's on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's contained. So no matter what, if I even left him there for 3 days, I've done that before. I've left him contained for days until I fully clear. And I'm serious. I mean, time's irrelevant to them, but see, you got to be in the right mind frame, to do it. So he's contained at the moment. But yeah, that was definitely a reason I was brought to that living room. When I saw that double pane glass, I thought you might have been in your living room, but all your windows are like that. And we couldn't see a window when you're the way you were sitting. So that's pretty cool. That's validating for me. I still think it's cool as hell.
Yeah, that is really cool.
But I'll do a full check. Emily, me and her can do that together and just, conversate. And do you have any more questions for us?
Really small question. So I put the black tourmaline and clear quartz under my bed. Do I need to have that on both sides of the bed as well?
If you feel drawn to that, like that's what you can do. If you have enough, and you want to do that, you can put it on both sides and it'll create, I see, it makes me think of a triangle of energy. Yeah, and that's what I visualize. So you're creating like a triangle of energy, which will like encompass your bed area.
Okay. I will say I will do that sometimes, especially because I've seen things on Hade's side of the bed. So sometimes I'll put stuff there because I know it's active in that side. But yeah, like I said, I think it's preference. But it wouldn't hurt at all.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to pull just a couple cards for you for spiritual guidance, just to see what pops out, to see if spirit has anything to say about it in general. I've already got 2 out, but I want to see if I can get a couple more. They're the little cards because I wrote on them because they're the ones I wrote like the meanings for. So they're the tiny cards, Emily, the ones that we got from Amazon, or the ones I got from Amazon. You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
I have the same ones.
So they're hard to shuffle to a degree. I got big fat hands.
They're like
so
this big.
yeah, but they're thick enough to shuffle.
They are.
Let's see. Come on. Trying to get one to pop out. They're kind of sticky.
Oh man, the acid.
Okay. So the 4 cards that come out were develop your own spiritual practices, which you already are. But I think what that's really saying is what it's reiterating the fact that we were talking about you developing more spiritual practices around your guarding your house. But not only that, your spiritual practices tap more into your intuition. The next card that come out was aligned with nature, meaning that you want to possibly even ground yourself that way. I know it's probably really cold and you won't be able to do this, and you don't have to do it barefoot. You can do it in your house, but you can also like walk outside in your front or backyard with your feet on the ground when it's comfortable to do so. And imagine a silver cord coming out of your tailbone, which is your root chakra, and planting it in the ground. You can do this from your bed, on the edge of your bed too. And roots come in from your feet and send out any like stress, any residual worry, any anxiety. Send all that through that silver cord and those roots deep into the ground. When you feel it drain out your body, it's going to come as a feeling, a thought, a clear knowing, or a sensation even, or even a vision. I mean, you can get it from all the extrasensory perceptions. And then you want to think about Earth's healing energy, because Gaia is constantly regenerating. So you want to have that Earth energy healing come up through your feet, come up that silver Earth cord. You can even connect the cord to the heavens, the gold cord. Matter of fact, I want to make a darn meditation for this, and I'm going to do it. I swear I'm going to do it. But you would align with nature and maybe even spend a little bit more time, like kind of tapped in and open to nature. You've already got your plant room too.
I was just gonna say, Spirit's been telling me to tell her spend more time in that room.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Go and try it. You could try to do that in your plant room, because it's probably, it's getting cold and it'll be very uncomfortable to be barefoot outside. But the next one is moonrise. So the time rising, your intuition is rising. So the moonrise means, the rising of illuminating your shadow. So you were definitely on the path of, your intuition is on the not waning, but the waxing side of the moon. So the moon is rising, you're gaining momentum. And then the meditation card popped out. And meditation, you're going to be able to do this through the meditation. So it is confirming that for you, I think. And the next card it just come out was divine whispers. So as you're doing this, definitely pay attention, because you do have the ability to discern the difference between like your thoughts, the intrusive, your own thoughts, and divine whispers. Spirit's going to be speaking to you more 100% regarding this. And the last card I'm going to pull out right now is past influences. So don't let your past failures in terms of your spiritual practices, or maybe even your past, like, how can I say this? Things from the past that didn't go anywhere, go too far, or didn't go somewhere you wanted it to go, or maybe it turned into a negative experience. Try to let go of those negative experiences you had, because I feel like that one of the strands or threads that are attached to you, not necessarily, well, maybe so, maybe from the guy, but just in general as yourself, I feel like maybe there is still some lingering fear from you pushing your spiritual boundaries. I think Spirit is encouraging you that if you do it this way, that and you can let go of that past fear of maybe something going wrong when you do this, that you'll be able to kind of get into your own groove. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, that's
Okay.
actually, I got that message a while ago, and I can't remember who told me, but they told me if I go down this road, I will be protected. Not meaning that nothing bad will ever happen to me, but that part of this is my divine calling, my divine mission. And so they're not gonna, just send me out to the wolves with no protection around me.
100%. So Spirit's validating that for you again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another validation, and reminding you, like, you're on your path.
Yep.
But yeah, so the grounding technique, the one I shared about the roots and the cord, that's a grounding technique.
Mhm.
You can do that while you open space and ask for divine guidance before you go ahead and tap in any way you feel. So you tap in like through automatic writing or just in general channeling, however that looks for you, before you do your own card readings or anything like that. And that will keep you grounded and safe. It's like a safe hole. It's safe from any outside influences. So
Awesome.
I felt drawn to do that very quickly.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And is there anything else we can help you with?
My goodness. No, you guys have both done so much for me, and I appreciate both of you so much. I feel like, so like I said, this has been building for a long time, and I was in one phase, and it feels like I'm starting the second phase. And I've gotten so much guidance and help and support from both of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for both of you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're absolutely glad to help because, I mean, that is part of our divine purpose. And then we find people that are like us, and it is a part of your divine purpose too, because eventually
Mhm.
you're going to be able to help somebody else. And that's what
Yeah.
this is about. It's like a web. It spreads, but a good kind of web, not the big black
Yeah,
spider one.
yeah.
It spreads and you'll be able to help somebody else that's struggling. Or I'm not saying you are, but I feel like you're going to find other people in this community. And I remember now talking to you about like later in life and towards your 40s
Yes.
and into your
Yeah.
50s, this is going to become so much bigger. And right now I think it's because you're having to focus on your career and stuff, but this
Mhm.
still is very much a big part of your life, and it's preparing you for something different in the future in a
Yeah.
positive way spiritually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
yeah, exactly. And you're such a lovely person. And I mean, I'm honored to be able to give you some insight, along with my spirit guides and try to take care of this because I mean, he's like, again, he's not causing any huge issues and it's
Mhm.
good because he's being blocked, but he does
Yeah.
just need to go. So we're going to try to
Yeah,
take care of that for
absolutely.
you. And,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome, and we're going to hold on to this recording. We had considered, now if you don't want us to, that's fine. We've considered holding on to this recording and sharing it maybe on a Patreon later as a validation. But if you do not want this shared, it's not going to hurt our feelings. We have absolutely no problem because it's the inside of your house. So
No, go right ahead. That's totally fine.
okay. And
Yeah.
if that ever changes, if that opinion ever changes for any reason whatsoever, you let us know. But this right now isn't going anywhere. And we would never share anything that you didn't want us to.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. But
You're welcome, honey. You're welcome.
I'll also once it's gonna take an hour, maybe more hours to upload and all that. And then once it's all in Drive, I'll send you the link so you have it as well.
okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. That way you can have a copy of it too. Like, and any other sessions, like you can always ask whatever spiritual teacher or anybody you're working with, you can always ask if you can record it. Cause I know you like to take notes and stuff. You're like me. I love taking notes. You can always ask if you can record it. That way you can go back later because we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's just a tip. I've been doing that with my clients too, and it's been so helpful.
Yeah, no, that's a really good tip for sure.
All righty. Well, it was lovely talking to you.
You too. Thank you so much, both of you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Much love and light.
Oh, you too, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you have a haunted story you want to share, you can email us at lightsatmidnightpodcast@gmail.com. Get in touch with us there. We'd love to hear from you. We really appreciate y'all hanging around and checking it out. And yeah, thank you so much. We are super excited to bring you some super awesome content. We really appreciate you guys checking us out.
Thank you to all that took the time to listen to this week's episode. Your support means the world to us. And remember, all of us have the ability to shine brightly and shed positivity, even in the darkest of places. Stay safe, stay well, and light it up!